Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Obviously today we're going to be talking about Liu Kang and Mavado. And before we get into it, make sure you like the video, whether you're returning or new viewer. It really helps me out a lot, and consider hitting the subscribe button. I post MK1 videos at least fortnightly, and it costs you guys nothing and helps me a lot. As usual, the timestamps are in the description below. If you're only interested in seeing a very specific part of the video, that's fine. Whether it's just combos, specific part of the breakdown, it's all there. Everything will be timestamped. Other than that, let's get into it. Now, first thing I want to say is Mavado gives you a lot of things. So this breakdown is going to take a while, and the combo section is a long time as well, because there's a lot of combos to do. So this is going to be a longer video than usual, but I'll try and keep it as short as possible. First of all, Mavado doesn't give you two things. He doesn't give you an invincible wake up like most other cameos. I know not all of them do, but most of them do. And he also costs 100 health from your normal health bar. So usually Liu Kang is 1,000, and now is at 900, which is just a minus of 10%. Now, let's talk about the first thing, which is which are the combo extenders. You have two combo extenders, which are the up cameo, right? And then there's the front cameo, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, front cameo. Now, the way you use these moves is not extremely specific, but in some cases, one is better to use than the other. So let's say, for example, I hit Armour here, and I use a move that really pushes him far back, right? Like 1-2-1. You can combo off this and use front cameo, because front cameo pushes the opponent back towards you, which allows for a really simple combo. Right? Then, the easier one to use of the two is up cameo. Up cameo you're going to use a lot in the corner, but you can also use in mid-screen because it's a little easier to use than forward cameo. I'm going to get into that now. First of all, forward cameo, as you can see, starts up in 12 frames. However, up cameo starts up in 8 frames. So it starts up a lot quicker than front cameo, and it has a lot less distance to try and reach the opponent. So technically it hits the opponent a lot faster than the front cameo does. However, remember that the front cameo does knock the opponent back towards you for an easier combo extension. Also, I want to mention that NRS has done this for, I'm pretty sure, the first time ever. They have made combo extenders, the front cameo and up cameos, OSs. Now, if you don't know what an OS is, that is an option select. Now, obviously, an option select doesn't mean you press the options button on your controller and select the settings. That's not what it means. What it means is, no matter the situation that you're put into, you're always going to come out in a favorable position in terms of yourself, right? So, for example, let's say I go to jump in, kick Armour here, and he doesn't block, right? You can see that the move comes out. However, if I put Armour on block here, and then I do the same jump in kick and the up cameo input, this is what happens. It doesn't come out. Now, there's two reasons why NRS has done this. First of all, they clearly didn't want to make up cameo and front cameo ambush moves, because let's be honest, ambush moves are a bit of a balancing nightmare in terms of this game. it's very hit and miss for them to try and balance ambush moves. So they made this option where if the move beforehand gets blocked, it doesn't come out, and if the opponent gets hit into a combo and is airborne, the move does come out. So it's very easy for them to balance, right? And the last thing I want to talk about is up kameo, the easier one of the two to use, can be used for wake up conversions. Now, I'm not going to have actually, you know what, let's just do it. Okay, so let's have him do a move of some sort. Okay. So imagine Ermac knocks me down and then I go to wake up. You get a full wake up conversion, not a combo, but it's a wake up conversion mid-screen. And it's okay damage. Remember, you're spending 1 bar because you're waking up. But yeah, it's pretty simple. As you can see, the timing is a little nitpicky, but once you do it a couple times, you will definitely get used to it. And obviously, when you do this in the corner, like, you know, you get ridiculous damage. I didn't believe in myself, I'll be honest there. As you can see, you get a full combo in the corner, and obviously you can spend meter and all that sort of good stuff to get more damage, which I've also put basically in the combo section of throw combos. They're basically the exact same gravity scaling. That is it for the combo conversions. That is definitely the easiest part of Mavado to understand. And if you just want to skip to the combos now, remember there's timestamps below in the descriptions. You can go through all of them. I've got every single optimal combo. I triple checked the combos like 50 million times just to make sure they were right. So, moving on to the next one. Mavado brought the most interesting mechanic into MK1, and that was the flawless block pushback. Now, what this means is when everyone saw it in the trailer, we thought there's potentially NRS was going to do a very good boy thing and give this option to every cameo. But us knowing NRS very well, they'll put this in first, see how much people like it, and then they'll give it to every cameo in a bigger update. That's what's going to happen with this move that I'm going to talk about right now. This input is also forward cameo. Like I said, it's a defensive move. Now, specifically for Liu Kang, this is okay, but when it comes to other characters that can zone a little bit better than Liu Kang, let's be honest, zoning isn't that great in this game, but Liu Kang can do it pretty well, and some characters can do it a little bit better. Quan Chi, Sindel, you name it. Kitana to an extent. And they will benefit from Mavado's flawless blocking shenanigans. So let's have a look at what that looks like. So you can see that when you flawless block, you get the opportunity to push forward cameo straight after your flawless block, and it sends them full screen. Like I said, this is good to set up zoning, to get the opponent off you. Maybe you're in the corner in a dire circumstance sort of situation. Remember that this costs half your cameo meter, and it costs 2 bars of your super meter. This is extremely expensive, and quite honestly, it might have to stay this way. I could see it maybe taking all of your cameo meter and 1 super meter. I think that'd be a bit more fair, but we'll just have to see how it goes on. As you saw, once you do it, it sends them full screen and leaves you plus 46. With Liu Kang, when you're plus 46 from full screen, you can get a guaranteed high fireball. In fact, if you time it perfectly, you can do it so it goes over the opponent before they even get up. Right, so I'm gonna try and show you guys that. As you can see, I'm timing it like so on point that he has to either wake up and, you know, stand up and eat the fireball, or what he can do is obviously get up and duck. Now, getting up and ducking is the best option, obviously, because if you jump, there's a chance that a fireball will catch you because it travels really fast. This is the best option for Liu Kang, because even if they duck the fireball, and there's a character like Ermac per se, or Scorpion, or something like that, and they try and duck and teleport, you're safe enough that you block the teleport and you get the punish for them making the mistake. So that is basically a guaranteed situation every single time. Now, if they have a armored teleport, say Smoke for example, it's not really a teleport but he tracks to you, then you know that's a bit of a different scenario and he's on top of you. But for most other teleports, it does work. And for most other characters, without a teleport, it definitely works. So definitely put that into your game plan as a Liu Kang player. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We're just going to have to see. Like I said, they've put this on one cameo character, and then they're going to see how it plays out. And then they're going to, if everyone likes it, they'll put it on every single cameo character. They did this before with MK11 with the whole breakaway mechanic and stopping breakaway. But yeah, that's a whole different tangent. I don't want to get onto that because this video is going to be long enough. The next one we're going to talk about is down kameo. Down kameo is also another interesting move. Now, you can use this in combos if you like. I'll just quickly show you guys what that looks like. So, obviously you can see that you can use it in combos. Now, this is okay. It obviously leaves you extremely plus no matter the situation. As you can see, full screen, you're plus 63. When you're even closer and you do that in the corner, it's even more plus. And you get extreme Oki. But that's not the best use of this move. When you use this move, you want to use it in a situation, more so in the corner, right? Let's say you open your opponent up. I do an extremely basic combo, and now you call it. You see that he got hit on the ground. Now when he gets hit on the ground, let's say he gets up and doesn't block, or is not holding the block button as he gets up, it will always do 60 damage. However, when we put Mr. Opponent, or Ermac over here, on block on wake up, you'll see that he has to eat the down kameo. This leaves you extremely plus. Now, I know it says -4, that's because I did forward 4-3. But it leaves you extremely plus, and you can do pretty much whatever you want after this move. You want to do a forward 4, you can do that. You want to do a back 2, you preferably want to use a mid, obviously. You can try and use a 1-2 or a 2-2 if your opponent respects you, obviously, and all that type of thing. However, because this move does this, let's set Mr. Ermac over here to Armored Wake Up. Okay, so after searching for a little bit, because I didn't know what Ermac's Armored Wake Up was, I want to show you guys that I have him on Wake Up, right? So I'm gonna knock him down, and he has the Wake Up, right? Now, no matter what I do, the computer will always wake up in this situation. But when you do this after a combo, so after you knock them down, you can, sorry, that was terrible. As you can see, you totally deny them even getting the option to use an armored wake up in the first place. Like in this situation, look, like the computer is completely on armored wake up no matter what. And then you can force the opponent, like they want to do the armored wake up, and obviously it doesn't come out like beforehand. And I just did another thing that I'm going to talk about right now. What I just did is I delayed the timing of the down cameo so that the down cameo hits them as they wake up, and obviously I hit them with another move, which forward 4 is a very safe move to do on wake up. And this automatically armor breaks your opponent and obviously relaunches them. And obviously they get launched again, right? So that's the premise of how you want to use this move. You either want to, one, deny them the chance to even wake up, like wake up anything, to be honest. They want to armored wake up, it gets cancelled, it gets negated out, right? It just doesn't happen. They want to wake up buttons, it gets negated because they get hit on the floor when it happens. They want to wake up jump, that's not going to work because they'll get hit by the cameo before they even get to jump in the first place. Like, it beats out every single wake up option they can do except blocking. If they wake up and block, that's the only thing they can do. Now, like I said, you can also time it a bit later so that they do the armored wake up, and then Mavado hits them and you hit them at the same time and you armor break, right? This is obviously possible with every single cameo, not just Liu Kang, but this is a Liu Kang video, so that's why I'm showing it to you guys with him. Another thing is not specific to Liu Kang, or not really for Liu Kang, I should say, more for other characters, because down cameo, let me just turn this off. Because down cameo is a low, because it's a low, right? Yeah, no, I know a whiff, but it doesn't matter, it's a low. You have a lot of other characters that have a million overheads. For example, Melina has a million overheads. Peacemaker has a million overheads. Omni-Man has a few overheads in his thing. You know, there's characters that have like overheads built into their kit, and Mavado will work really well with them. Let's be honest, you only have one overhead with Liu Kang, and it's this, and it pretty much leads to nothing. So, yeah, don't use it as a mix in that context unless you're really trolling your opponent, I suppose. That's the only other way you should be using it. Now, we get onto a move that I think, that really makes me think Mavado was supposed to be a very, very different cameo to what he is, to what the devs even gave us, right? And that's where this move here is back cameo. Now, I mentioned earlier that he costs 100 health. In this situation, when you land a back cameo, you deal to yourself 2% health damage, and you deal to your opponent 8% health damage, right? So that equals a total of 10, and obviously your opponent is eating more of that. I was thinking, before I think they had a split decision to make the timing, you know, come out with Mavado on the release date, because of like pressure and all that sort of thing. I think Mavado was supposed to be a cameo character that was going to be used in very specific situations that like to chip your opponents out and all that sort of thing, and it's kind of almost apparent with down cameo as well, but a little bit less so. Let's talk about the first thing that back cameo gives you anyway, and that is, sorry, give me 1 second, there we go, and that is, it's plus. Now as you can see, it's plus 12 there, depending on what string you do, depends on how plus it is, right? So I could do 2 2, it's plus 11, I could do 3 3 3, now it's plus 12, I could do 1 2, it's plus 11 now. So there's a lot of different, even if you're at like a different distance, you know. Whoops, that was my bad. Plus 11, right? Puts you closer, plus 12. So the distance and the string you use does affect the how plus you are a little bit. However, remember that this move has a gap. So all I have to do is put Mr. Ermac here on reversal, and I know the move now. Where is it? There we go. So I'm going to do it into the plus frames that I want, and obviously you guys are going to see that it has an armored gap. Now, if you flawless block the gap, it does nothing. It doesn't give you your opponent any advantage, doesn't make you minus or anything. It will still be plus, however plus it is, according to what string you're using with whatever character. But just remember that whenever you use this, there is a chance that your opponent will just armor straight through it. It is a high also, so your opponent could literally, you know, if they wanted to, just do this. Oops. I still have reversal on. And they obviously get a full combo punish because of the recovery frames. So yeah. So no matter what string I use there, he can just duck and punish me. Even that, yeah. Which isn't even a mix-up, but anyway. So yeah, just remember that it's a high. And a lot of skilled players that are that have really good reaction time in fighting games will be able to exploit that. However, the majority, let's be honest, 90% of the player base will be using an armored move to get through that. Now, back cameo, like I was talking about, I thought Mavado was going to be a very different type of cameo character when he came out because of this move. And that's because when you use this, right, let's imagine your opponent is, oh no, why it's still ducking. Well, let's imagine your opponent is on 30% health, right? And you just open up your opponent. Now, obviously with Liu Kang, you pretty much die. But let's say it's like 36%, and then you need that little bit extra damage. Like, let's say your opponent is on 1 or 2%. You can pull out back cameo anytime, and that kills them because it's 8% damage if it lands. When this move is blocked, though, you can see it does no damage. No chip damage whatsoever. So flawless blocking, like I said, really doesn't matter against this move. Even if it's from full screen, it still doesn't. 0 chip damage. Nothing. Remember that. So, catching your opponent with this is going to be extremely rare, but the times that it works is going to work, right? And in those dire situations where you have the health lead, this move will definitely come into play. If you remember that. If you remember to use it in the first place. But yeah. Anyway. Now let's move on to the last move, which is the trap, and that is neutral cameo. You can see the opponent gets stunned and takes a little bit of dot damage. Don't know what dot damage is. It's basically damage that you can't avoid. So let's say your opponent is blocking, right? You can do that, but remember this trap costs all of your cameo meter. So, it's really not worth doing in that sort of circumstance. There are some combos that truly benefit from the move, and I've put them in the combo section, so you can check that with the timestamps. But the way you use this trap move is literally guaranteeing damage with Liu Kang, right? So, what you sort of want to do is you want to do a string into flying kick, and in the mid screen you drop the trap. Now in this circumstance, even though he didn't get stunned because I'm hitting him, right, you can see that he still takes block damage. He's still taking the dot damage. You can see that he took 3% dot damage. Right, even if he opens you up, he's still going to get the dot damage. So in very specific scenarios where your opponent is extremely low on health, the trap is going to become extremely clutch in a lot of situations. I've also seen people use the trap for restands in combos. That might be optimal for other characters, but not for Liu Kang. I've tried every single possible way, trust me, I've tried. And every single optimal that I did find with the trap, I did put in the combo section. So if it's not there, it's probably not the optimal. And the last thing I want to mention now. This is where the trap gets a little bit interesting, and if you're an old school MK player, MK9 era is what I mean by old school, and you knew what you were talking about in that game, because in that game they don't have the frame data like we do in this game. They somehow figured out how plus something was by doing a move and then jumping afterwards. I don't know how they did that, but there is a scenario in this where if you have your opponent cornered, you can do this, and when you do the recovery, you recover, I'm not sure, not 100% sure, but you recover either +1, 2, or 3 faster than your opponent. Now I know that's not a lot of numbers to work with Liu Kang. +3 is a bit meh, but it's still plus, and it's still extremely, you know, oppressive in the corner. So if there's an old school MK9 player that ends up watching this video, please let me know by testing it. Actually, I'll do it one time really well, so that way you can just have a look. But yeah. Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up. One thing I do want to say before I get on to the combo section of the video and you guys enjoy that. Mavado is, if he doesn't get nerfed, which I hope he doesn't because he's actually in a pretty good spot, he is definitely, no, okay, I'm not going to say definitely, I haven't thought about it a lot, but I'm pretty sure Mavado is a top 3, if not top 5 pick cameo for Liu Kang. In my opinion, like if I was to choose a number 1 cameo for Liu Kang, it would be Motaro. Just because the damage is ridiculous, the throw combos is deadly and all that sort of thing. But Mavado does give you opportunities that you wouldn't have otherwise, and that's because he's unique to what he has in the game right now. That could change in the future, right? Like I said, they could give the things that they gave to him to other cameos and make it sort of an all-round thing, and then it becomes a lot less useful. But yeah, definitely at least a top 5 cameo pick with Liu Kang, for sure. In terms of overall cameo usage, he might be top 3. Just because you'll probably help a lot of other main characters more than Liu Kang. Because Liu Kang, let's be honest, doesn't need a lot. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it up, guys. Like I said, if you guys liked the video, please drop a like. It helps me out a lot. And consider subscribing. Like I said, I make MK content at least once a fortnight. So, you know, it's either going to be some gameplay, or, you know, a breakdown of Liu Kang with a cameo. I'll get onto other characters as soon as I finish, you know, this whole playlist, basically. And yeah, I've made content on other games such as Rainbow Six Siege and Dead by Daylight, and like I said, Multiverses extremely soon. So yeah, if you guys are interested in that, please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you guys know when I upload a video. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hope you guys enjoy the combos. Cheers.